Okay, so to try to summarize this, if you've never heard the gospel, then this is unbelievable news to you. That's the bottom line. And that's what the gospel is. When you hear the gospel, it's the too good to be true news. It's supposed to be good news, but we're not telling people the good news. We're not telling people the truth. That's what's going to make you free. It's not going to cause you to live in sin or say it's okay to sin, because listen, homosexuals are going to continue to be homosexuals until they've been delivered from that. That's not going to change. Or if there's some chemical imbalance dealing with their body, until that gets fixed or they get healed from that, that's not going to change. So telling a homosexual that they can be justified freely through the grace of God is not giving them a license to sin. See, they're sinning great without a license. That's not giving them a license to sin. That's their only way out. Their only way out of what they're in is explaining to them that it's already been paid for. There is no more payments for sin. So when you start this journey, if you've never really heard this, and that's why these teachings are so powerful and so important, I challenge you to listen. We're only talking about 5 minutes here. I'm challenging you to listen every day. Take at least one teaching and listen to it. And listen to it more than once, and go through these scriptures and read these scriptures and understand what has happened already. I'm not talking about something that's going to happen. I'm not talking about future tense. I'm not talking about present tense. I'm talking about past tense. He's already done it all. And we haven't heard the gospel. We've never heard the truth. That's the only thing that's going to make you free. So that's how radical it is. You have to understand righteousness. You have to understand the law. You have to understand justification. You have to understand redemption. You have to understand faith. You have to understand grace. You have to understand spirit, soul, and body. That's the only way you're going to be able to walk in this truth. If you get one part and don't get the other part, then you're going to be confused. You're going to find yourself condemning yourself. You're going to find yourself in a situation where you're thinking, this can't be true. How can this happen? How can this be? There's a lot to it, but you know what? If you take one day, just one day at a time, and listen to these teachings will change your life. If you've never heard a man named Andrew Womack, if he's not one of your favorite teachers, then I can say that there's a really good chance that you've never heard the gospel. You know, it's so radical. It's so powerful that you can't afford to miss this. You can't afford not to get this. So I can talk about a person that was a homosexual that became a new creation in their spirit, and now their spirit man is righteous and God. But see, and this is the most important part about that, is that's the part that God the Father sees. See, John 4:24 says, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him only in spirit and in truth. And we think that that's some kind of, spiritual thing where, we get emotional and we shout and jump and yell and scream, but that's not what it's all about. The spirit and in truth, the spirit man, understanding that spirit man, that the only way you can come before God is through your spirit. And that's the part of you that's been sanctified and perfected forever. So how radical is that? See, that's a homosexual's way out. That's a liar's way out of lying, is telling them that it's been paid for already. And you don't have to work your way in. You can't work your way in. That your only way is through the grace of God. That's what the whole New Testament is all about. That's what Paul preached. That's what grace is all about. And if you have not heard that, then you have not heard the grace of God. So the more teachings I do, the more I will get into more and more scriptures to better give you an understanding of what God is trying to tell us through his word.